Hey, how's it going? So, this is my made in Japan TL52-900 Telecaster, which I bought, I guess, about 7 or 8 years ago. As you can see, it's in really beautiful condition. Um, it was, I guess, something that someone bought way back in 1990 and then probably didn't really play very much. Although, looking at the fret wear today, when I took all the strings off, I was a little bit surprised that the frets from the first fret up to, well, really way up to the 12th or 13th fret show some pretty even wear. So maybe it was played a lot more than I thought and just kept in really nice condition. Or maybe I've played it a lot more than I thought. Anyway, today's the restring day, so as you can see, I've already taken all the strings off. They were in pretty bad shape, quite corroded. Next step, I took some, let me just check, what's the name of this product? I think these actually used to come in a, oh, it is Gibson, okay. Well, there you go. So Gibson Restorative Finish Cream and Low Abrasion Metal Cleaner. I applied the metal cleaner with a little stiff brush that came with the kit. Cleaned up the bridge and bridge pickup. Basically, it was in reasonably good condition, but starting to show signs of corrosion. And I didn't scrub it too much, but you can see that, even with just a little bit of a brush and then using a few cotton buds and a clean cloth to wipe it off, it's come up really nice. So I don't know what's in this stuff, but it's actually pretty effective. It just says low abrasion metal cleaner, and that's a Gibson product. Anyway, then I took a soft cloth and used the restorative finish cream. Just put a little thin smear of it all over the surface, both front, back, and fretboard, neck, and the headstock, and then really just went to town on it for about 20 minutes. Give it a really hard rub with the soft lint-free cloth. And then after I finished cleaning the whole guitar, I went over each fret with the same soft cloth that still had a little bit of the wood polish on it, just up and down on each fret for, maybe 50 rubs on each fret. Amazingly, it does a really good job. So as you can see, the surface of the frets is pretty shiny now. I don't want to go too hard on them because, as I said, there's already a little bit of wear showing on there. So that's pretty much it. It's in really nice condition. It's now nice and clean. So obviously the next step is to put some new strings on. I bought a set of Ernie Ball custom gauge. So these are the 10 to 46s. This Telecaster had 9 to, I don't know what exactly, maybe 9 to 42s or something before. So I thought I'd just go with a little bit of a heavier gauge this time just to see how it goes. Oh, a couple of other things I did just before I get the strings on. I went over all the screws on the guitar as well. So the tuners, the bridge plate, switch plate, and scratch plate, and even the neck plate. I basically gave all the screws, not tighten, but just check it, make sure there's no looseness. I did give the neck plate about a 1/16 of a turn. Just gave each screw a little bit of an extra tightness because I'm putting heavier strings on. I really don't want the neck to pull forward at all once I get those strings on. The next thing that a lot of people do is put some graphite into the nut just to make sure that none of the strings bind up in there. But I did a really thorough job of cleaning these out just now, and they feel really smooth. So for now, I'm not going to put anything in there. Apart from anything else, the graphite makes them look really dirty again. So I'll just see how they go, and if there's any problem later, then I'll perhaps put a little tiny bit of graphite into each slot. Alright, so time to stick some strings on. You know, I don't know what your system is, but I basically always start with the lowest, the thinnest. So we're starting with the number 10. Teles in general, and this one in particular, really easy to restring. So it's a string through design, string through the body. So just feed it in from underneath, straight up through the bridge plate. Make sure that the little knob on the end of the string is seated right into the hole. And then straight up. Now, the tuners on this Tele are the old style tuners which have a hole. I don't know if you can see that, but each tuner has a slot in the top of the peg, and then down there's a hole. So what I usually do is pull the string reasonably tight up to the tuner, back it off about 20-30 millimeters, then put a bend in the string. Simple bend like that. Feed it straight in the hole. Yeah, right. Now, of course, these holes don't go all the way through. These are not open back tuners. So the idea is to work out how deep that hole is. Well, it's not very deep. You can see it's about maybe 20 millimeters, 3/4 of an inch. So where I put my bend, cut the string off, same distance. So about 20 millimeters from your bend, cut the string off, and you're ready to go. Just feed that straight into the hole. There we go. Right. And then, whoops, it fell straight out. Make sure it doesn't slip out before you start winding. Yes, one of the curses of old age is I can't actually see very well to get that down into the hole. Okay, so another thing that I noted about Teles is the tuning pegs are actually quite close together. So to make it easier to use your string winder, what I generally do is turn all the pegs perpendicular to the face of the headstock. That way you can wind your string winder and it won't hit the next peg. Alright, make sure you wind in the right direction, of course. So in the case of a Telecaster, looking from the top of the guitar, it's anti-clockwise to make the peg go anti-clockwise. And then just keep winding, keep winding. Now, don't worry, I will edit this video so that you don't have to watch this process for every string. But make sure that you're sitting okay down there on the bridge, sitting in the correct slot on the nut, and then just tension it up a little. And that's fine. That's enough. You certainly don't want to get it up to tune. And then, whoops, I went a little too tight, because what we need to do next, with the high E string and the B string, they both sit in this little string T kind of screw which has like a flat washer on top of it, and then underneath that there's a slot. So just push the string down under there, make sure that it sits under in the correct slot, and then wind away. I presume that this device, this little slot for the E and the B strings, it's to create a much steeper angle on the string so that they don't pop out of the nut when you're going wild on the guitar. Right, so that's the E string, that's done. I'll go ahead and do the other 5 strings, and then we'll see how the fret clearances look with the heavier gauge strings.